I've just been told that some of them setting alarms for midnight.
Savvy shopping. Oh, I like that.
Set an alarm for midnight, because then you can shop ahead. So all the deals in that day will open up at midnight, and YouTube is now working.
Whoop, whoop, whoop.
Right. Right, Lily.
Right,
Do we want to start with the trimmer? Shall I go and get it?
Shall we? Yeah.
Yeah, I'll go and get it for you.
Now, we love our trimmer, and I believe you're getting a little freebie today.
You'll have to. I have no idea about that.
The tape. Are we getting the tape?
Oh, I
Are
don't
we?
know.
Oh.
All right, we'll come back to you on that. Let's talk around this trimmer first of all.
This trimmer, I sort of don't like calling it a trimmer, to be perfectly honest, because it does so much more than just be a trimmer. Now, we talk about this being 5-in-1, but quite frankly, it's a little bit more than that 5. But I will start off by sharing with you the 5 different functions when it comes to this trimmer. Now, we will look at this in a little bit more detail later on in demo. I'll show you how every single one of these features works, but just as a little overview, so you can get it in your baskets ready for when we do demo, I will show you all of these features. So we'll start off with side number 1, because by the way, in case you haven't noticed, it's actually double-sided, would you believe, which is pretty blooming cool, quite frankly. So side number 1, you've got your guillotine. Now, your guillotine is a really lovely sharp blade that's going to give you those beautiful, precise, crisp, clean cuts every single time. You've got that metal on metal contact, so every time you're cutting down with your guillotine, you are self-sharpening that blade, which is amazing. On the base there, you've got your grid lines, allowing you to get all those lovely precise angles that you can line up with ease. You've got your measurements in both inches and centimetres, both top and bottom, making it super easy to do all those precise cuts. Plus, you've got all those different angles on there. So if you're doing things like your diagonal front cards, makes it super easy to get those perfect angles. So that's side number 1. We flip that over, and that brings us to side number 2. So on this side, we've got our fantastic trimmer. So our trimmer is a little bit special because on our trimmer, it's not just got the one blade, it's actually got the 2 blades that we can very easily flick between. So first of all, you can see there you've got your perforation blade. Now, if you're doing things like your RSVPs, how fabulous to be able to pop the little score line onto there, and then the recipient can just easily tear along it and they can send back their invites. Without having to change that blade, we literally just flick this little switch here and it turns into that lovely wavy edge. So even without having to use your dies, you can give them all that lovely decorative edge just by changing that blade. Once again, you've got your measurements in both centimetres and inches, top and bottom, making that super easy. Now, you might have noticed on this side, we've actually got our grooves indented into that board, and there's a reason why. If I spin this round, on this storage compartment here, I can slide out, and it's much easier if you're doing this face on, so we'll put it flat down. You can slide out your scoring tool, which is just housed in that bottom section there. Blimey, somebody's shoved that right in hard.
Let's have a look. My nails aren't quite as long
Go
as
on,
yours.
give that a go. There you go. Easy as that. I definitely loosened it. A little bit embarrassing, that, wasn't it?
Brilliant. No, don't be embarrassed. It's just
I'd
hilarious.
loosened it. It was a lot easier early, but there you go, live TV and all the rest of it. Your scoring tool definitely does come out. And then alongside this, and this is the exciting bit, this is going to allow you to create all your boxes, all your envelopes, and all your box envelopes. Now, I know that is a little bit small. You can pop over onto the website, and I will show you this later, and you're going to be able to download this, print it out a little bit bigger, and you can do all your box making and your envelope making. Full measurements on there, full instructions, even full diagrams as well that you're going to use in conjunction with your scoreboard there. But even without using the guide itself, if you just want to score, for example, a 2-inch line on your card, you can do that with ease using that fantastic built-in scoreboard. Now, the final use, and I have to say I love this. How many of you people at home have got punch after punch after punch in your crafty stash, taking up absolutely tons of room? Because my hands certainly up, I certainly do, when it comes to punches. They're great, but they're ever so bulky. So what we've done here is we've actually included a corner rounder punch into the trimmer itself. All you need to do is feed your cardstock up, punch it down, and you've got those beautiful, precise, really professional looking rounded corners, and all the waste collects in that little tray there. So no need to have any waste on your desk. It's all neatly collected in there. So 5 uses, but I think when you get this home, you'll be finding tons and tons more you can do with this. Double-sided, it's fair, I wouldn't say it's lightweight, but it's easy enough to transport if you are going out to your classes. Essential for your craft kit.
Right, do you want me to pass that back over to your table while you tell them about that free gift?
I was right.
You were right.
I was right. I did start to doubt myself.
Well, no, it's because it wasn't here, and I was like, I've changed the mind while I've been on
we're
there.
a bit
That's
worried,
why I was a little bit careful.
Phew, it is here now. It is $39.99, I do believe, for your trimmer. However, it's a Friday. We wanted to give you a little bit of a Friday treat. So do you know what? We're going to give you a fabulous treat because you're going to get a pack of your DIY Doctor double-sided tape. Your 3 rolls within this pack here. You get your thick 1 inch, your 1/2 inch and your 1/4 inch within this pack here. And on every single one of those rolls, 28 metres. And that is coming to you for absolutely nothing. Love the fact that it's an essential. So just like your trimmer is an essential, this is an essential. Even if you've got reams of this already, you're always going to need tape in your crafty stash. So fabulous. To get it for absolutely nothing. We love that.
And did you say it automatically adds to the basket? Right, at checkout it'll automatically add to your basket. Right, let's have a talk about this Pro Cut machine because in my opinion, in my humble opinion, this is the best die cutting machine on the market. So there's different ways that product is developed in the craft industry. Either we start from scratch, very much like we did with something like Screen Sensation. We have all the tooling made, all the molds made, and then that is our product. There's another way where a factory will bring you a product and they'll say, what do you think of this? So this turned up on Stephanie's desk while we were still over at iHub. And she said to me, what do you think? And we both said the same thing. There's no point putting another die cutting machine in an already saturated market unless you can solve the problem of the plates doing that. Because that costs you a small fortune across the time that you're using that die cutting machine because you're constantly having to replace them. So the factory went away and they came back with a 5mm plate made from a different substrate. So they managed to make it work. As long as you put that 5mm plate on the top, when you're die cutting, it will not bend. We've got them that must have had hundreds of thousands of cuts. You can imagine how many cuts we do in a week, and that plate is still flat as a pancake. You can't see through it anymore, but it is absolutely flat as a pancake. Inside the box, you're also going to get 2 3mm plates. So one of them is for your base plate. Then you're going to get your magnetic sheet in there as well. Then you put your die on with the cutting edge facing up, your card on top and your 5mm plate, and you run it through. It has sensors on one of the sides of the opening. It's slightly wider than A4. The plates are slightly wider than A4. So if you are embossing with an A4 folder, it will do it edge to edge. It also comes with a rubber mat for embossing, and it also comes with a metal shim to be able to cut things like fabric with your thin metal dies. Now, we've all got one for work, okay? So you work with a company, they give you the tools, you use the tools. If there's anything wrong with them, let me tell you, I'm the first one banging on the door. But I bought one for home. Amanda bought one for home. David has one at home. So we invested, and do you know what? You would never have known which die cutting machine I have at home. I could have used any of them. But that one, in my opinion, is the best one that out there because you don't have to keep replacing the plates. Think about how much you spend in a year on plates. It's a lot of money, Lily, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Right? And if they're out of stock, and you've got a lot of, for example, wedding invitations that you need to make or all your Christmas cards and you can't get the plates, what do?
Absolutely.
Can't use your machine. It's as simple as that.
Yep.
No plates, no use.
And it's not about having the most pressure in the machine. And I get it because a lot of the dies that we struggle with over the year, you're like, right, most pressure, that's going to cut it. Makes your pellets go like that. And if you're cutting dies on plates like that, imagine what's going to happen to your dies over time. So if you're in the market for what I consider to be the best die cutting machine that is out there, ease of use, you haven't got those big, thick, chunky plates, it's brilliant. Shop Caboodle and it's $169.99. Now remember, you'll get your discount off that, then you'll also get your points back. So sit there and work out what that means for you, depending on which tier you're in, and then decide whether you want to invest. Now we do have 3mm plates separately. So why would you need another 3mm plate? Because the 3mm is going on the bottom. It will, both of them together. Right, okay, so the 3mm plate, which is on the bottom, can bend slightly. Nothing like that, but a very gentle bow. So if you fancy a new 3mm plate, we've got one for you. The 5mm plate, now I would give you a tip with this. If you're using it with something like your specialist cardstocks, like your mirror card or your silk art card or anything like that, anything that can take a mark that will mark your card, I would save your blank 5mm plate for that. I'd keep that clean. Yes, it'll cut into it, but it's not going to mark your card. Okay, so when you've got thousands and thousands and thousands of cuts on that mat and you're running through something that's got a coating on it, it can impress those in because of the pressure. Get a spare one. That's it. Just have them in stock. And then, as Lily said, if you're in the middle of a great big project, you've got a spare one for that as well. That is shop plate, $21.98. You can also cut twice as fast because as one's going through, you can prepare the other one, right? So get yourself another magnetic sheet. We've just been giving them away next door with the binders from Two Red Robins. Use one of those on your 3mm plate, set up your dies, 5mm plate on top, run it through, whichever you prefer. What I do with mine is I keep one side that's not cut into.
Great idea, yeah.
And the other side that is, because we don't have to flip it and rotate it to keep
it
flat, right?
Yeah, north, south, east, west,
We
and
don't
all the
need
rest
that.
of it. Yeah, mark all your plates, none of that.
Don't need that, just keep one side clean. Right, shall we go to demo, Andrew? I feel like we need to see. We can do the load and fold, yes. Now then, I remember this way back when I was sat at iHub before we did it all out, it was probably, I don't know, 8 months into my journey with Stephanie, and she said to me, come and have a look at this, what do you think? And she brought out this. It's gridded. This is honestly brilliant. Stamping platform. Now, I know there are loads of them out there now. This was one of the first. Not the first, I'm not claiming that, but it was one of the first. This is the one that sits in my craft bag. So if I'm going anywhere to craft, whether I'm coming here, I'm at home, wherever, this is what I have in my stash. I don't have any others. This is the one that I use. So you're going to get your 8x8 and your
6x8, I think it is.
6x8. It's gridded on one side. So you can line, if you've got sentiments, anything like that, border stamps, anything like that, you can get your straight line. Your card goes in here, in this recessed area. You then pick it up with this, ink it, and then stamp it onto the card. Right, Lily? How many times have you seen somebody on TV got the stamp on here and stamp it like that?
Too many times.
What's the worst thing you can do with a stamp? Ink it in midair because you're not getting that level playing field. This goes more or less flat.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's brilliant. The other thing I use this for is watercolour card in here, messy.
Oh, yeah.
Right,
yeah.
so your ink's in here, spritz it, those bottles that we've just had next door, spritz it, pick it up, and it's all contained in one place. You're getting both of these.
As well as the stamps.
Hang on. No, I know. I'm just pausing for a minute because I've just seen the price. Give me a minute. Right, so, no, it's not dramatic effect. I'm stunned. Is that...
$19.99, yeah.
Right, ready?
Yep.
Shop stamp, go. So you're getting your 8x8, your 6x8, and 4 sets of our Lulu's Mindful Moodling stamps for $19.99. That is absolutely ridiculous. I'm just putting that out there. That, my friends, even if you're going to pass these on to a friend or you're going to keep these and pass the stamps, $19.99 before your discount.
When those two alone, and quite frankly, because I'm exactly the same as you, Mel, they're the ones I've used for years. And
Absolutely.
I've never, ever stopped using them.
Nope.
genuinely never stop using them. Those on their own, worth every single penny of $39.99. At the end of the day, you're getting two, which is amazing. So to get, it's almost like you're buying them, we're then giving you 20 quid and giving you them. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy for all of that. And honestly, hand on heart, if you've never tried a load and fold before, it is the best, bar none. And believe you me, I have used others. The best stamping platform I have ever used. You've got to have one. I have one in my craft tote on my desk. I have some in my bags. I have them everywhere because I would not be without.
That price is ridiculous. You should be paying £72.95. Today you're paying $19.99 before your discount. Now you're going to be doing some colouring next week, aren't you?
Oh yeah, I am.
We've got colouring pens on here. Absolutely, please don't miss out on this. Let me have a look. Does it tell me how many stamps I'm getting?
A lot.
I bet it doesn't, but there's a lot. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 8 on that one.
Yeah.
So if there's 8 on each one, that's 32 stamps and your 2 load and folds for $19.99. Right, that's the deal of the day, let alone the deal of the show. That, my friends, is the deal of the day. Right, Lily, shall we go over to demo?
Let's do it.
Prime time deal. Yeah, absolutely, Andrew. I can't get my head around that.
No, it doesn't quite compute, but we won't try and work it out. It's true, it's right. So go for it while you can.
We have the load and fold on its own on the show, $39.99. So Lily's quite right. We're knocking £20 off the load and folds, and we're giving you 4 sets of A6 stamps. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Right, I'm buttoning it, Lily. It's up to you. Over to you.
Right. It's up to me, blimey. Oh, the pressure. I thought, you know what, especially if you are brand new, if you've never seen this trimmer before, I want to go through every single sort of element and every single function that we have on this amazing piece of kit. And like I say, I don't really like calling it a trimmer because there's just so much more you can do with it aside from just cutting your card. So we'll start off with side number 1, and side number 1 is where we find our guillotine. So our guillotine has got that lovely sharp blade on there, and every single time that we're cutting with this blade, we've got that metal on metal contact, which means it's going to sharpen every single time we use it. And you get such beautiful clean cuts with your guillotine. So I'm going to push my cardstock up against there. We've even got the 2 press marks on there, so it's telling us exactly where we need to press down onto our bar. And instead of just cutting straight downwards, I'm going to cut downwards but slightly in. And that's going to allow us to have that lovely contact between that blade and that metal bar there. So we're cutting down and in. And if I show you the edge of that, it's absolutely perfect. Clean, crisp cut onto there. No feathering whatsoever. And it's exactly the same on that side there. You're getting crisp, clean cuts every single time. Even just a little slither here. Just the tiniest little bit of card that we're cutting off. Still absolutely perfect cut onto that tiny piece. And it's exactly the same onto that other side of cardstock there. Lovely crisp cut every single time with this one. Now on the base of this side, you are getting your grid lines. So if you want to be lining things up, getting those lovely sharp right angles, it allows you to do that nice and easily. Plus you've got your measurements in both your inches and your centimetres on the top and on the bottom. Now when it comes to this side here, you've also got your angles. So if you want to, for example, you were doing the front of a card that you wanted to have it at a 45-degree angle, I'd find my 45 on there, I'd just line that up along that edge, and then I could trim off that section there. And it allows you to do those lovely diagonal cuts, but with complete and utter accuracy, which just makes it look ever so professional, which we love. So that's our first side of our piece of kit here. If I turn this over, this is the side where we've got our trimmer onto there. Now our trimmer is a little bit special because within this one housing here, we've actually got 2 different sorts of blades. So first of all, we've got our decal edge there. So if we just slide our card in, and the beauty of a trimmer like that, until you start to press down onto that blade, you've not got any contact whatsoever. So you can position that where you want it, and you can do all of your partial cuts if that's what you want to do. So we've got our decal edge, or a sort of wavy edge there to start with. I'm going to press down on that blade, and I'm just going to cut upwards, and it's going to give our cardstock that lovely sort of deckled edge, almost like we've used a border die to cut that for us. So it just gives us that lovely sort of design element onto there. Now if we take our blade housing, we don't even need to take our blade out. We just literally need to flick that switch, and it turns it then into our perforation line. So once again, we'll just press down onto our cardstock, so applying a little bit of pressure to that blade there, and it gives that lovely perforation line that we can fold along, and if we're doing something like an RSVP, we can tear along that nice and easy. So that's our trimmer. You may have noticed though on this side of the board it's a little bit different in terms of that you've got those indentation lines instead of the printed grid lines, and this is where your scoring tool comes in. Now this is stored on the underside of your board, so nice and easy and compact. You don't need to worry about losing these. It all stores onto that board itself. We can take our cardstock, we can line this up, and then we can decide wherever we want to score it, for example 2 inches here, and we can just do all of our scoring. Perhaps you're scoring your own card bases, you can absolutely do that using your trimmer here, and we can even burnish using the tool as well. So that's your scoring tool. Now we do also have included this little guide that's also housed on the underside of our board. Now this is fabulous in order to create your own gift boxes. Now I'm going to show you how easy this is to use, but what I've done ahead of time is I've just gone onto our website and I've printed off our guide, which gives you all that information but just a little bit larger to make it a little bit easier to see. Now if you go to the product page for this item, which is shop paper, you will find that as a download. You can just download it and print it off nice and easy. So I'm going to start off with using our guillotine to trim our cardstock, and we're just going to go on with that first box. So it's telling us it's going to make a box measuring 2 inches by 2 inch with a 1 inch depth. So our paper size is 6 by 6. So I'll grab a piece of our cardstock here. We're using our 250 GSM pure print. I'm going to cut it down to 6 inch by 6 inch, so you can see our 6 inch line there. Line that up, button it against the top of that board, and then we can cut down, and we'll do exactly the same on the other side. So it's 6 inch by 6 inch. Then I'm just going to grab another piece of our cardstock, so we cut this one for our lid, and it's the same measurement for both your lid and your base. So we're going at our 6 inch there, we'll turn it 90 degrees, and then we'll just trim at our 6 inch. So we've got 2 pieces of cardstock that are measuring 6 inch by 6 inch. Turn this back over, so we're on to our scoring board here. So we've cut it down, and then it shows us where we need to score our base and where we need to score our lid. So each one is going to have 2 score lines. So we'll start off with our base. We need to score at 1 inch and 2 inch. So we're going to butt our first piece of cardstock up against 0 there. So we've got our 0 line there. Line that up against that very left hand side. Then we'll score at 1 inch. So I'm just keeping hold of my cardstock just to make sure it's going to stay nicely in position. Score at 1 inch, and then we'll do exactly the same at 2 inch. And then it's just a case of actually going round, scoring your 1 inch, and then scoring your 2 inch on all 4 of those sides. So just rotating every time, making sure it's nicely lined up against that left hand corner, and then just going in and scoring these lines. And the key thing is, when it comes to any sort of scoring, rather than trying to score really heavily over one area and just do the one score line, almost like build up those score lines. So going quite gently to start with, and then I tend to go over about 3 or 4 times just to build up that score line, so you've got a nice crisp score, and it just reduces your likelihood of actually cracking that cardstock as you start to fold it together. So there we've got our 1 inch and our 2 inch. And then we can just go in and start to burnish all of our score lines. So we can even use the end of our tool in order to do that. So we're going to fold along all of these lines just before we start to trim into this. Just makes it a little bit easier to see exactly where we need to cut once you've got all of those score lines burnished. So we'll just go in, fold them over, line them up nicely. Then we can use the end of our tool just to start to give it that lovely, crisp, clean, burnished edge. So we'll fold in that outer one, and then we'll fold in that innermost one, just like so. So that's our lid all scored. We'll trim into that in just a few moments time, but we'll do our base next. So our base was cut to exactly the same size as our lid, which is 6 inch by 6 inch. We've done our base, then we can move on to our lid, which is first score line 7/8 of an inch, next score line 1 7/8. So all we need to do is just remember that every line on here is 7/8 of an inch. So for 7/8, it's going to be 1 inch, but just one line under 1. So one line under 1, and then our next one for 1 7/8 is just going to be one line under 2. And for me, that's just the easiest way to remember it. It's just one line under, and it's going to give us that 1/8 of an inch difference. So we'll go on to 1 under 1, and then we'll go on to 1 under 2. And again, we're using that exact same technique where we're lining up flush against that left hand corner where we've got that 0 line. So we're flush with that 0 marking, and then we're just going over and scoring multiple times along that score line to give us that lovely crisp score line when we start to fold this together. So 7/8 of an inch, and then once again 7/8 of an inch is just the one under 2. And that's our scoring done. So I'll move that out of the way for now, so we can just focus on a little bit of folding our score lines. So we can go in and fold our lines just like so. So go in with that first one, and then exactly the same with that next one up, and we'll do that on all 4 sides. So it's exactly the same treatment that we've just done to our box lid that we're doing to our box base, and then that gives us those 2 pieces there. Now all we need to do is we need to trim away a few sections here. I've just realised I've not got my scissors, which is not too much good. Thank you very much, they shall do. So just a pair of scissors, and you're just going to trim along your box here. So it even tells you, if I bring back in the diagram here, it even tells you those solid lines are where we need to cut. So we'll cut in, so it's this innermost line here. So we'll cut down across those 2 boxes, and we'll do exactly the same on all 4 sides there. So down across the 2 boxes, and we're doing it into all 4 sides of that box there. So down across those 2 boxes, and then we cut in just like so. So you can see all those sections have been cut. Then all we're going to do is we're just going to remove the 4 outermost sections. So if I cut along this score line here, and up until that point where we've just cut down, I remove that piece, and we'll do exactly the same in all 4 corners, which is just going to reduce a little bit of bulk, so that when we come to actually fold this together, it's going to give us that much neater, professional looking finish. So we'll go in and remove that same section on all 4 corners, so we've got something that looks a little bit like that. And once again, it's exactly the same sort of idea when it comes to our other piece. So the same for your lid and your base. Trim up along those 2 sections there. I have to say, these are not the sharpest scissors, so yours will be a little bit neater when you're doing this at home. Mine looks like the dog's been at it and chewed it, but yours will definitely look a lot neater.
But they're not the best, are they, Lily?
They're not the best, but they'll do the job just about.
They will.
Just don't look too closely, is all I'm going to say. There you go.
Don't judge her on the scissors.
Yeah. I always say I love fussy cutting, but people will be looking at that and thinking, blimey me, you like cutting? Need a bit more practice, I think. Blimey. Dear, oh dear. There we go. Just go in and trim all these sections. It does look like I've teared it. I promise you I've used a pair of scissors, but there we go.
Yeah, they're not the greatest. They need sharpening. We need that decked-on knife sharpener. That's what we need.
Do. Right, so we'll focus on one piece at a time. And what I tend to do when I'm making boxes is I'll pop a mark onto the one that's my lid and one that's my base, so that we can sort of know a little bit easier which piece is which. You're going to fold your pieces in like so. So you've got those 2 areas there. And then it's just a case of folding those sides over. And what this allows you to have, it allows you to have a lovely reinforced, it's like a 2 layer of your box side, so it's a little bit more reinforced. So we fold that over, and you would be using glue with yours at home, but just for speed, I'll just show you the folding sort of process. I think we need to cut down.
Lily, they're a great little size box for advent calendars, aren't they?
Oh, yeah.
You could build them up in the shape of a tree.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You certainly could. That would
so
be
up
lovely.
in like a pyramid, not
Yes.
not a tree with branches, like,
Yes.
a Christmas.
I knew what you meant.
It's time for me to go on. But you know what I mean? When you build them
Yes.
all up and you do build a pyramid
I do, yes.
and have all your numbers on,
That would be
that'd
lovely,
be brilliant
actually.
for this, wouldn't it?
So you're folding that corner in, and then this bit here, it just folds over the top. You pop a bit of glue just on the back of there. That will tuck under, that piece will fold over, and you can see it gives you, especially if you're adding things that are a little bit more weight into that, it just gives you that lovely reinforced, really expensive look and feel. And you do exactly the same on the other side, and those will fold together. You'll do exactly the same once again on your lid and your base, and you will get something that looks like your lovely reinforced box. Now,
Fabulous.
That's going to give you your box. How easy is that?
Brilliant,
Now,
Lily.
it's a similar sort of idea when it comes to your envelope. You're just going to follow that process through. You've got all of your card size. That's how big you need to be cutting your card that's going to go inside your envelope. It tells you how big you need to cut your paper. It is literally holding your hand every single step of the way. If you've never made an envelope before, it's literally all on there, and everything can be done with the tools that you've got on your trimmer. This is why I love this tool, especially if you're someone that crafts on the go. Perhaps you go away to the caravan on a weekend and you're anything like me, you can't have a weekend off crafting. You need to bring a little bit of something for you to craft with. You don't want to bring a guillotine, a trimmer, a scoreboard, a box maker, an envelope maker, a punch. You want to bring it all in the one tool. What a fabulous way to be able to do that using your fantastic 5-in-1 trimmer. It's an absolute must-have, but it does every single one of those 5 functions absolutely perfectly.
That's brilliant. Thank you, Lily. And you even get the glue to stick it together today. So you're getting 84 metres of tape. So you get the 1-inch strip, the 1/2-inch strip and the 1/4-inch strip in there, and it's tissue tape. So first of all, if you put it down in the wrong place, you can get it up with an eraser. And secondly, it's really thin. Although it's strong, it's thin, so it doesn't add bulk to those corners in your boxes. Right, Lily, do you want to come back and join me, my lovely? We're going to recap this incredible deal. Okay.
Thank you.
Now then, let's say we brought you these, right? So beautiful stamps from our Lou. If you've never tried moodling or doodling or Zentangle or whatever you want to call it, you need to try it because it's your breath, okay? So let's say we were bringing you those. Those would normally be, I'm going to say £8.99, but we're doing them on a deal at a £5 each, right? 5, 10, 15, 20, and I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll throw in 2 of our best stamping platforms. Lily still has hers. I use mine all. If I'm ever stamping, I don't go to any other one. I use this one because it just does the job. I don't need all the bells and whistles. I just need something that's going to give me that impression. I need something that if I miss a bit, I can go back. That's all I need. Now, these are $39.99 on their show each. And let's say these are £9 each, £36. What if I said you could have all of them for $19.99 before your club discount? No, you heard me right. Don't adjust your volume on your TV. You heard me right. Shop Stamp is going to get you all of those stamps and your 2 load and folds, 8x8 and 6x8, today for $19.99. If you're part of a group, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Secret Santas there for $19.99.
Perfect. Can you imagine if you got one of those in Secret Santa? I'd be delighted.
Me too.
Never have enough of those.
No, absolutely not. Right, if you want that Shop Stamp, my lovelies. Right, Lily, talk to me about these. These little foam applicators are brilliant, aren't they?
There's something that just makes me really quite happy.
Because they're little.
About it. I just love them. I absolutely love them. They are just fabulous. Now, these are coming for free. Yeah, another word that we seem to be using quite a lot on this show, free. Again, and have we lost our minds? Is it because it's a Friday? Who knows? But you guys at home can take advantage, which is what we love.
I don't care what the reason is. I'm just happy.
Just go with it.
Right, so talk to me about this. How were they free? What else did they come with?
So they are coming with these fantastic liquid chalk markers.
These are good.
Now, these are fabulous. These are absolutely brilliant. So you're going to pay for your chalk markers, and you are going to get all the goodies in front of these, by the way. And you're going to get these included as well. Now, if you want to use these 2 in conjunction...
Right, hang on. How does that work out? $9.99 for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 chalk markers.
Yep. Plus all of that.
Plus your little mini chalkboard.
Yep.
Your little stencils that you can go through. So you've got 2 different stencils in there. Your little instruction leaflet and your labels.
Yep.
Plus 15 applicators for $9.99. These are worth $14.99. That's ridiculous. Right, little technique for you with these. Now then, you can use them with your alcohol inks. So if I was doing this, I would write, or, well, I wouldn't write it, I'd put vinyl for each colour. So I'd have one for my reds, one for my yellows, one for my oranges, greens, blues, purples, etc., etc. So I knew which one it was, and you can use them with your alcohol ink, right? But we worked out that if you put a little bit of extender on there, and it's a few drops, and then you take your markers and put your colour on there, go onto our printable acetate, it will dry.
Wow.
It will dry. So even if you haven't got any alcohol inks and you're like, well, I don't really need that, you can do it with these markers. Now, you've been using these. What do you think?
I have now. I absolutely love these. Onto black cardstock. Oh, Those colours are so super vivid. Even onto your black, even that gorgeous bright hot pink is exactly the colour you get onto your black cardstock. They are amazing. Whether you want to do a little bit of detailed colouring with them, whether you want to use them for labels, for decorations, they are wipe clean onto those non-porous surfaces as well. You do get the full instructions included. All these goodies as well. I mean, you think you're buying the pens, you get all these goodies included as well. And then all these freebies. If you've never tried them before, what a fantastic opportunity to give them a go. Perhaps you love your watercolours, perhaps you love your alcohol markers. This is something a little bit different that's going to give you a new technique to try.
I think that's fabulous. And I'll tell you what else you can use these for.
Oh, go on.
Do you remember, did you have a little chalkboard when you were
when
you were little?
We did, little chalk,
Look at these for little hands. Aren't they good? Right? You could absolutely give those to the kids or put paint on and just do different blocky backgrounds.
Yeah.
How about that? Honestly, this is what we're doing in this show. This is madness. Right, you need this in your life.
You do.
Okay?
Even just to look at those and have a little laugh.
11 pens, right? So if these were £1 and a pen, you'd think that was a bargain, wouldn't you?
You would.
Right? But you're only paying for 10 of them. So you're getting the white one free. Then you're not paying for those, and all that lot comes with your pens. That, my friends, heck. We're doing this.
What are we doing?
I don't know, but I don't care, so grab it while we've got it. Before somebody upstairs goes, oh.
I know. Well, it's their decision, not ours. So
right, metallic pens.
Oh.
Now then, these,
like
my friends, are a little bit special. There should be a set open somewhere. Have we got them? I bet Amanda's got them in our desk. She loves these. Now, when we did these with Amanda last week, no, they're not in there. She said, it might have been this week, I can't remember. She said she paid $19.99 for one of these because they're not just your average metallic pens, they're chrome. And they give you a really good high shine. Now, you've got in here 6 of the colours, so you get some funny names on these, it makes me smile. Star gold, bronze gold, mocha gold,
love that.
champagne gold. Whoever knew there were so many colours of gold. Bright silver. Oh, this one, no, they're not open. Blinking egg. Rose gold. And then this takes the fear out because it's an eraser.
Wow, for a metallic pen?
Right, now then.
Oh my gosh.
I'm wondering whether, let me just read what it says on the back of here, what they'll go on to. They'll go on to mirror effect. Oh, right. So, you know, this morning we talked about Sospeso and adding the hot foil pen on.
Yeah. Oh.
Do it with this. How about that as dots in the centre of your Sospeso flowers? How about that with the veining on there, just adding that little bit of extra bling, if you like. These are absolutely fabulous pens, and I'm with Amanda. I spent a small fortune on 3 of them. I got a gold, a silver and a bronze. I'm not going to tell you how much they were, but they were very expensive, and they were dry within weeks. And I was so disappointed that, I mean, I'll never buy that brand again, ever. These, night and day, honestly, they're absolutely fabulous. Now, not only are you getting the 6 pens, but you're also going to get a gold and a silver metallic paint. So if you've got gates, railings, all that kind of thing, this is outdoor or indoor. I'm going to read to you what it says on the back, if it is, direction. All surfaces, so metal gold paint is good performance top coat to decorate railings, gates, etc. It will adhere to, we're not going to use it for that, are we? It'll adhere to metal, wood and concrete.
Oh, wow.
And is durable in all weather conditions. So you don't even need to seal this with your Aquastone. Wow. You're getting 180 ml of gold and 180 ml of silver and your 6 chrome pens and your eraser. Shop Guild, $34.99. If you've looked at us doing the metal leaf with the mixie on, and you're like, yeah, it's a bit messy for me, that sticky glue, and it can float everywhere. Listen, there's ways around it. I love metal leaf, but this is your alternative. And bearing in mind, Amanda paid $19.99 for one, and you're getting 6 plus the eraser, plus your 180 ml of gold, plus your 180 ml of silver. for 30. Can you just move your mouse, Andrew, please? Oh, is it over there? I can't see it. $39.99. Absolutely cracking price, that.
Could you? I've just had a crazy
I know, we have
thought.
these things, don't we?
I know, my mind's just going, if you can use it on concrete, could you paint your paving slabs in your garden with? So I could have gold pavings.
Lily, you could.
Oh my gosh, well, I know when I get my new house, I'm going to be having a gold garden.
Look at you.
Having a bit of that, thank
But
you
you're
very
all
much.
plant pots, planters, all of that, concrete, right? And you don't need to seal it.
Wow.
Don't miss out on
It's a
that.
need.
Shop Guild, $39.99. I'm going to have to go and move that mouse
Go on.
because I can't see any prices.
Drawing board next. It's just over the second digit. So you can see the first digit. So it could be 30 anything. Could be anything at all.
It could. You can't see
Could be
it.
anything. There we go. That's better.
Right. Talk to me about...
Oh.
Now, these, my friends,
I
I'm going to
love
shut up in a
these.
minute, but I need to tell you, these pens, these watercolour pens from Creative, fit in your universal pen holder.
Oh, wow.
But you scan and go, oh, what are we doing?
What are we doing? Good question.
There used to be a brand called Tombow
Oh, yeah.
and Marvilla Plume and Art and Graphic. They all did pens similar to this. So you've got, Andrew said he used to go out with one of them. You've got on one end your fine fibre tip. That was quite funny for you, Andrew. For anybody else it wasn't, but for you it was quite good. You've got a small fibre tip on one end and you've got a brush nib on the other. So the fibre tip end will go into your universal pen holder and they are brilliant. Right, Lily, you take over and tell me why I need these, love.
These are absolutely lovely. If you've thought over the years, do you know what? I'd love to give watercolouring a bit of a go, but I'm really daunted by all the paints. I want something that's a little bit less messy. I want something that's nice and compact that I can take with me. This is the way forward.
They're amazing.
These blend, and I have to say, I probably shouldn't say this, I was a little bit surprised by quite how well they blend for
good,
that
aren't they?
price. Yeah, I thought, oh, they'd be good, but they are outstanding pens. They are absolutely lovely. I've used over the years quite a lot of different watercolour markers. I've used all sorts of different brands, all sorts of different price points, qualities, the lot. These are incredible. For that price point, even if you're not 100% sure, I'd say give them a go. Now, there are a few different ways that you can blend with these. You can colour directly from that pen onto your image, and then you can start to pull that colour out using a water brush. They blend beautifully even using that way. Or you can blend them, so colour them onto something like an acrylic block or onto your glass mat. Pick that colour up and then you can paint with it using a brush. They are outstanding. The colours are gorgeous. You get colours that are quite close in their sort of tone as well. So if you want to blend and mix them together, you can do. Love the fact that you get two nibs as well. That brush nib is beautiful quality. But honestly, if you've got things like your digital stamps, I know we brought you tons and tons over the years. Print them off onto your watercolour card, which is exactly what we're going to do actually 10 o'clock Monday morning, and you can paint with these. They are amazing. What a fantastic way to get into your watercolours for $9.99.
Yeah, that's
amazing.
bonkers. You used to pay $2.99 a pen.
You did, yeah.
And you're getting
We've all
12 in
paid it.
those. So Shop Pastel, $9.99. Now then, if you are going to print off your Digistamps onto watercolour card, this is the one to go for. It's 9 inches by 12 inches, so you'll have to cut it down to A4, but it's 200 GSM, which means it will go through most box standard printers, the ones you get in your supermarket. Nothing's all singing and all dancing, just your box standard one. So you can cut this down and then draw or print your Digistamps off and then colour in. So if you want that one, it is shop card and it's $9.99 for 25 sheets.
That's a great
of
price.
9 by 12. That is a cracking deal. But please don't miss out on that.
Oh no.
Because that's fantastic. Sorry, Andrew, which one? Watercolour pad? Mozart, this one.
Mozart's in the building, I've heard.
Yes.
Back to life.
Andrew said Mozart, not Mozart. Yeah, but you've just said, Andrew's been calling it Mozart for the last 2 years. But you've just said to me, love, that you've never seen those pens before. We've done so many scan and cut shows with those pens together, Andrew.
Has he been asleep
Yes.
during the show?
Yes, loads of
dear.
them. Oh, blah, blah,
dear.
blah, blah. Right, now then, what about this watercolour pad here? This is the one. I'm getting cheeky now because I'm going home. It's like blah, 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 blah. So, like, what's it called? That Hotel Transylvania.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
Blah, blah, blah. Love it. Right, so watercolour paper. If you've no idea what I'm talking about, yes, I am getting a bit delirious. Go and watch the film because it's absolutely brilliant. Watercolour, cold pressed. Now you're getting 30 sheets in here. A4, 300 GSM. So if you're serious about your watercolouring, you're on that journey with Stephanie with a different painting, then this is absolutely superb. If I went into a high street store now and looked at their watercolour paper offering, I wouldn't get anything anywhere near this price. I've been in and paid upwards of £30 for a watercolour pad.
They're not cheap.
This is brilliant, and it's a little bit smooth because it's cold pressed, and it's absolutely wonderful to work on. Now, as Lily said, you can use the water brush pens. If you're scared of a brush, which I get, because it's something, I think sometimes when you're learning something new, you have to have something familiar.
Yes.
And the familiar of holding a pen, even if you're scribbling it on your load and folds and using that as a palette, there you go, there's another use for it. Picking it up with your water and then colouring in until you get used to that colour movement within watercolour and that technique, then this is going to be absolutely fabulous. And you're getting that with an £8 saving, and they're $9.99. We have some questions.
Ooh, lovely.
Yes, absolutely. Would the watercolour pens work for colouring vellum? Now, the parchment that we bring you, the shot vellum, the 6 sheets of 280, the reason I chose that particular one was, first of all, for your scan and cut, but secondly, because if you add something like a pen, I mean, I wouldn't put a brush full of water on it, because parchment doesn't like water. It buckles. But if you're using something like this, absolutely, you just need to have a really good quality parchment. We went for 280, but absolutely, because you're not flooding it with water, it's an ink. It's a watercolour ink. So yes, on the back of them, that's what I do. If I ever do parchment like that, and you've ever seen anything coloured like the wisteria I did the other week, those are the pens that I use. That's one of the reasons they've been on the Scan and Cut show. Mrs. H999. The vinyl that you use with your irons, the heat transfer vinyl. Or you can use the transfer paper. So if you want to do your own designs or you want to put people's names on something, then heat transfer vinyl is the one that you cut on your Scan and Cut and iron on. If you want to print something, you use the transfer paper. We do one for light and one for dark. You print it on your inkjet printer, normal settings, cut it down to the shape that you want it to be, take the paper backing off, put it onto the material, Teflon sheet over the top, and then iron. However, I do think if you saw Simon Isles with that, what did he call it? The iron protector. I can't remember what he called it, but it's absolutely phenomenal. Go and have a look on liveshopping.bip. It was a triangular piece of 100% Teflon that attached to your iron while it's cold, as a tip. And then he literally put it on a plastic bag. You know those cheap plastic bags, the polythene ones? Put it on that, melted completely. Now your iron would have been ruined. He literally wiped it off. I think you might be able to use that with your transfer paper.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's Teflon.
Yeah, of course.
So it makes sense, doesn't it? So we'll try that next time we do a sublimation show. But yes, I hope that answers your questions. Oh, Linda Parsons is asking. Oh, can you buy the blue mat and the foil? So the burnishing kit, the embossing starter kit from Scan and Cut. You're asking if you can buy the blue sheet. I don't know. That's probably a question for brother. So if you message UK, capital letters, capital S support at capital S scanandcut.eu. So UK support at Scan and Cut, and it's not Scan and Cut, it's Scan and Cut. .eu, they should be able to answer the questions. The other thing you could try is a piece of our mylar.
Oh, yeah.
The thin mylar that we sell for Scan and Cut, that might work. It's just to protect the foil. That's all, as it burnishes it down. Lily, we're nearly out of time.
That's flown by, hasn't it?
That was the
Absolutely
week
flown
that
by.
was. I've had a
Yeah.
lovely time. I've got to
Me
play with
too.
loads of different products.
Oh yeah, it's been fab.
It's been great. And thank you, everybody, for your company. But please, do not miss tomorrow morning with Amanda and Stephanie. Wait till you see what Amanda's made out of wax and brand new moulds. I'll be watching. Lily will be watching.
Oh yeah.
I'll still be in bed with a bacon sandwich and a cup of tea.
Oh yeah, luxury.
Right.
Luxury, yeah.
I know, sleeping in your own beds, that'll be nice.
I know, it'll
won't
be
it?
strange, won't it?
It will be strange. And I will see you on Monday, as will Lily. And then we've got another fabulous packed week of great goodies for you as well. I would like to say thank you for keeping me company all week and keeping me going. Thank you to all of you for my birthday messages yesterday. That was super, super, super kind. Pick up the show, Lily, for you.
Pick of the show. It's
Quick,
got to
quick,
be
quick.
load and fold with your fantastic
Oh,
stamps.
yeah, Black Monkey, I was going to
$19.99.
choose that. Right,
We can
I'll
both
go
have it.
for
Go on.
the chalk markers.
Marcus.
And your free applicators. Thank you for joining us. Thank you to Lily for demonstrating.
Oh,
a
thank
big
you.
thank you to Laura for being the best camera op ever.
Of the
And Andrew
century.
in our ears as well for keeping us going. You have a lovely weekend and I will see you on Monday, but please don't miss out tomorrow. And stay